Okay, so this is lesson 1.2, roots of non-perfect squares. We already covered this in the last lesson. This is kind of a reminder of it. So what we're going to do is we want to estimate non-perfect squares. And if you remember perfect squares, they're the ones that when you take the square root of it, you end up with really nice numbers, no decimals, no fractions. This we want to look at benchmarks. So we're talking about numbers that are lower, and we're talking about numbers that are higher than the one we're looking at. So we can't do the square root of 7, so we can look at the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. So because 7 falls between 4 and 9, our answer has to fall between 2 and 3. So we can do an approximate of 2.6. Another one here, 30. Of course, we can't do 30, but we can go lower. We can go square root of 25, upper square root of 36. So square root of 25 is 5, square root of 36 is 6. 30 falls between those two, so our answer falls between those two, approximately 5.4. Square root of 97 we can't do. So lower benchmark would be square root of 81. Upper benchmark would be square root of 100. 97 falls between those numbers, so our answer has to fall between 9 and 10, so approximately 9.8. Now the reason it's 9.8 is because 97 is a little bit closer to 100 than it is to 81. Do your best to estimate that, and it should be no problem at all. Page here, let's talk about fractions. Fractions, we can look at 3 over 8, and that's approximately like that 3 is close to 4, which is a nice perfect square root. And then the 8 is close to 9, so we can do 4 over 9, which is just 2 over 3. So here we can do, this is just another variation on it. Square root of 36 is 6. 6 squared is 6 times 6 is 36. This is just forward and backwards. I'm just getting the idea that there's opposites of everything, right? The opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is division. Well, the opposite of square rooting is squaring. Here, 16.81. I mean, you probably use your calculator for these ones. So if you do your calculator, you get 4.1, and then you could go backwards and go 4.1 squared. There's 4.1 times 4.1, 16.81. Same with fractions. 36 over 121 is 6 over 11, because the square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 121 is 11. Work backwards, square them, 6 over 11. That's 6 over 11 times 6 over 11, which is 36 over 121. The purpose of this bottom part here is just to show you, like I said, that the opposite of square rooting is squaring, and the opposite of squaring is square rooting. All right, that's it for that lesson.